Hello, welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill your friends, get your gaming goodness each and every Monday. My name's Dylan Blight. Joining me on the couch by himself this week, Ashley Hobley.
Yeah, excited to be here, Dylan. Just the two of us. Yeah.
Make it a good show again.
Right here in the same time zone. Daylight savings is over. This period of trouble has come to its end for 4 months.
I mean, it goes by with a blink of an eye, and then we go back to our separate little time zones. But I was going to bring this up after we recorded because I was going to ask you. I'll be like, are these times we set for Sunday okay? Because I forgot that we set them prior to the
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, okay.
It just means it'll actually be earlier, which is that works for this. Yeah, it is a weird thing. Yeah,
Daylight savings. I'll tell you what, I need it though because
no, wait, yeah. Or is it later for me? I can't remember.
No. It's the so you come to my time. So like for example, we've set a recording at 6:30 my time. So it'll be 6:30 your time.
Yes,
we'll be on the same time zone. Prior,
so it will be later.
Yes,
than
later
what
for you.
I'm currently getting.
Yes. Well, if we'd done it last Sunday, for example, if we were recording at like 6:30 last Sunday, it was 5:30 your time, 6:30 my time.
Yes. So it's easier for me when I finish work.
Yes.
To get here to the podcast.
Yes.
On time.
Yes. Correct.
But But if we're doing something really late at night, it's like it's worse.
Well, I mean,
it's later at night for me.
Yeah, but it's still late at night for me. It's not like I have it. It's not like I have it better. It's like literally one half of the year I'm an hour behind you. I'm ahead of you. And then the other half, you're just at the same time as me. It's not like we switch where like suddenly I'm behind you and you're in front. Yeah. Like, I'll tell you what, because you don't live where you have to deal with this shit. But it's crazy like how it creeps up. Like so Monday or Tuesday this week, like I wake up pitch black. It just comes out of nowhere. Like it suddenly is just like, the morning before it was still 6 o'clock. There was sunlight. Next morning, pitch black at the exact same time. And I woke up.
That's what happens when you keep stealing all the sunlight.
Yeah, well, it's true. It's just crazy. Like it's one of those things where no matter what, each year when it happens, I still go, "This is fucked, eh?" Like, how's that? Like every year, I'm still just bemused how it just happens out of nowhere. Like it doesn't creep up.
How the hell does the sun not stay the same? Come up the same time every single day? It's bullshit.
It's bullshit. It is actually bullshit. Today on the show, E3, it's gone again. Weird West sounds great. And I can confirm that Kirby is great as well. So firstly, I've done no reviews this week, but Will did a review for Weird West. Weird West.
So which group of devs is this one from? They're X somethings.
They're X. What's the developer?
Is it Arcane?
Yes, Arcane.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why the game has like a bunch of weird powers and abilities and stuff like that. But I'll tell you what, if you haven't seen the trailer,
everybody in it is Dishonored.
Yes, correct. I can't really describe. I think this is a weird. I feel like you have to sort of look up gameplay, and I'll deploy to read Will's full review or whatever. But I feel like it's a game that's sort of hard to describe in one sentence if you haven't like checked out videos and stuff like that, because it's sort of like an old school RPG. You're sort of clicking around or whatever, and then you go into like combat and there's towns and there's characters and I don't know. It's like it's a lot. There's powers. It's a Western, but then there's supernatural elements. I don't know. It's a lot. Anyway, Will gave it a 8 out of 10. Saying, whilst initially the RPG cross-immersive sim might feel a bit strange to me, it grew into its own skin to focus on the best parts of both genres, freedom and opportunity. The opportunities within Weird West do feel endless at times due to the emergent gameplay, story beats, and the way you are endlessly rewarded for exploration, capped off by some excellent presentation, atmosphere, and fascinating story. Weird West's attracting factors are only minor marks on an overall great experience. Published by Devolver, as well as other... Since I know that's like sort of a tick of approval for a lot of people. So definitely check out Will's full review of Weird West in the comment section, in the show description, sorry. And then on explosionnetwork.com. Check that one out. Let's get into this week's news. Let's start with the continuing case of Activision Blizzard. So they've settled. U.S. District Judge Dale Fisher approved a US $18 million relief settlement with Equal Employment Opportunity Commission today, writes Kotaku. This settlement comes months after Activision Blizzard originally agreed to settle with the EEOC on September 27, 2021, but those attempting to hold the game publisher to account are split on how much of a win this will ultimately be for the victims of Activision Blizzard's frat boy culture. I personally think this is fuck all, and I feel like that's the overall sentiment from most people I've seen. Like, in a world where Bobby Kotick's like bonus is like triple, 4, 5, 6 times that, 25 million seems like absolutely fuck all. After everything this story sort of come through, for it to end up this way, it's like meh, like sort of not sort of deflating, I guess. I don't know. There is another lawsuit that they're following up with next year, so it's not over, but
this part is over.
This part is over, and we will be back.
It's Xbox knocking one off the list.
Yeah, it says the DFEH is pursuing its own lawsuit against Call of Duty publisher. That the EEOC settlement contains a clause that allows Activision Blizzard to remove sexual harassment allegations from files of settlement claimants, hindering the DFEH trial. The settlement allows the publisher to use unclaimed funds for its own women's charity funds. DFEH is aware that control over some of the money could return to the company that settlement is meant to publish. That's so February 23rd, 2023 is when we'll hear another one. But yeah, super disappointing in my opinion.
Yeah. Seems like a bit of a shit show all around. It sounds like, the DFEH has come in and said, during the settlement hearing, a lawyer acting on their behalf argued that the EEOC's motion to proceed with the settlement was in violation of the state's rights to its own jurisdiction. But the EEOC argued that the DFEH has had months to make the federalism argument, but has instead chosen to broach it at the 11th hour. So why they've come in at the last minute to try and screw this up, I don't not
sure.
Make an argument before is beyond me.
Know why? Collusion.
America.
No. Money, pockets, somewhere.
Drama.
Yeah. It's kind of just a very deflating end to that story, to be honest. But, not even in a I need a Hollywood ending, but just I really don't think that money represents the high enough amount for what we were sort of going for. But anyway. We'll talk about it again next year. Press Start writes, E3 2022 has been fully cancelled, but you can still expect loads of announcements in June. Shannon writes, after being digital for the last 2 years, the ESA has confirmed that E3 has been fully cancelled in 2022. This means there will be absolutely no E3 this year, although I'm not sure how much that means to the average reader, as I'm sure that the likes of Xbox, Nintendo, and Ubisoft will still hold digital conferences in June. Jeff Keighley has been very quick to capitalize on the announcement, confirming that Summer Game Fest would kick off with a major showcase in June with big news, big announcements, news, and first looks. The ESA's full statement says E3 will turn in 2023 with a reinvigorated showcase that celebrates new and exciting video games and industry innovations. We previously announced that E3 would not be held in person in 2022 due to the ongoing health risks surrounding COVID-19. Today we announced that there will be no digital E3 showcase in 2022. Instead, we'll devote all of our energy and resources to delivering a revitalized physical and digital E3 experience next summer. Whether enjoyed from the show floor on your favorite devices, the 2023 showcase will bring the community, media, and industry back together in an all-new format and interactive experience. I feel like this is a non-story at this point, almost like...
Yep.
It's like...
I'm pretty sure we're all confident it was not happening this year.
Yeah.
And E3 does not seem like they want to do a digital event.
No. Well, the funniest thing is, I don't know what... E3, to me, when I was younger... It was the event, and this was before Public got in, right? So in my mind, I still always think of as E3 as a press and what do you call it? What do you call people who work in the business?
Industry
event, right? Yeah, that'd be the word. So I always thought of E3 as an industry event, and then several years ago they went public.
We need to make money.
Yes, they went in to make money, and they made it public. But that's never what E3 primarily was to me, especially when I was in high school watching E3 and all these other things. It was always an industry event. So that I feel like that's the only way E3 really matters anymore in the future, I actually think is if it actually goes back to that. I think E3 can be worth something if it goes back to being an industry-only event, and it's a place where publishers and developers showcase and use that opportunity to get a lot of press, out preview coverage, all this sort of stuff. Because
actual hands-on with content.
Hands-on with content, with journalists and whoever else, content creators, I'm sure as well. But yeah, I think as to making a big event that's just a public event where people can play games and demos and you have like showcases, it's like everyone does their own showcases now. There's nearly every, like PlayStation has their own fucking PAX like event. There's PAXs, there's all these things. So yeah, I feel like E3 to be anything worthwhile in the industry anymore has to go backwards, not forwards at this stage.
And even that is a tough ask because, you know, the way that E3 made money from those is from the publishers buying up booth space to showcase their stuff, and they really don't need to do that.
No.
You know, so if the only way it comes back is if they choose to facilitate E3, which maybe because, you know, E3 is a fun event and like, you know, it is it has been a cornerstone of the industry, and like this time where everybody kind of gets together, a great networking kind of event. A lot of, like, for morale reasons, I think it probably may have been like a big deal for the teams that were going, and like gets the opportunity to show off their work. But yeah, I didn't expect it would happen this year. We'll see if they ever get to fulfill their dream of this crazy E3 fan experience, which I think is what they will try and attempt to do next year, with their multiple panels happening at the same time, with esports happening and live events and bullshit.
Yeah. That sounds horrible as much as it did when we talked about it last year. Don't really look forward to that. How do you feel about Jeff Keighley still, like, Summer Game Fest still kicking on?
I mean, it's fine. Really, he didn't do much last year. It was like his kickoff show, and then he had opening night live as part of Gamescom. And then any other event anybody had was apparently part of
There were a couple that were
because he hosted them also on his stream, so they were part of Summer Games Fest.
There were some that were just him though, like the Tony Hawk reveal and stuff a couple of years ago and stuff. Like that was specifically
2 years ago. It was
2 years.
It was very much last year. He phoned it in.
Yeah, last year.
That's all I'm saying.
Last year, I'd say he phoned it in. Yeah. Step your game up, Jeff. You know.
Yeah, or give other people credit. You know?
Yeah.
Don't take advantage of other people's work.
So it's like E3's cancelled, but if Summer Game Fest is anything to go after the last couple of years, there'll just be a bunch of showcases anyway, you know? So,
oh yeah, we're going to get like 50, 60 showcases.
Bloody a million indie showcases. See the same game 6 times with different trailers.
Wholesome Games, we'll get I can't even name
Future Game Show.
Future Game Show. And then the one that went like 7 days.
Fucking
7 different showcases.
Yeah, I can't even remember the name of it. And I'm not trying to shit on these because there was like a lot of good stuff in those, and like everyone behind them was good. But by God, as someone who watched all of them, like fucking drowning.
Here's my advice: game devs. I know you want to get your games on every single showcase, but like commit to one.
Yeah.
Don't go everywhere. You know, because people get sick of your game.
Yeah.
People get sick of watching your game.
And the ones that stand out are the ones that are just one cool trailer.
See, what was that game that kept being shown everywhere about the couple that was floating around everywhere?
Haven?
Yeah. Nobody talked about that game.
I mean, it came out. Got decent reviews. Decent reviews.
Are we talking about it now?
No, none of us played it, though. Actually, did Kieran? No. Maybe I'm dreaming that.
And why is that? Because we all hated it because it kept showing us trailers.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, but also my sleep schedule is not. Major news story from this week was Nintendo direction. Untitled sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild delayed until autumn 2020.
Oof, what a shocking piece of news.
Yeah, I don't think like this was shocking to anyone, but it was just more of the like, all right, well, that's like one less game that can potentially rival Elden Ring as Game of the Year potential. You know, I think I even said to you a couple weeks ago, I was like, I feel like it's God of War and Zelda are the only two that I could feel like based on their previous entries, could potentially come up with the same caliber and get like the same sort of renown as Elden Ring. So now it's solely on God of War Ragnarok, because as of now, there's nothing else I can see or think of that's coming out for the rest of the year.
Listen, we could have some crazy indie come out.
I mean, that
like
is true.
Like a Walking Dead, like breakout hit indie. And you're like, well, what are we going to go with?
That is true, but just based on
what if they
like,
come out and said Untitled Goose Game 2?
Or Game of the Year. What if they actually name it though?
Or what if they Celeste 2?
Not Celeste 2, because they're working on a game that's not Celeste. So sorry to burst everyone's bubble, but they're I can't remember the name of it, but there's a game. Like, what the fuck's that studio? OK Game? No, fuck, I can't remember. Anyway, them.
Remember, really.
Yeah, they're working on a game, but it's not Celeste. So sorry.
But what if they do?
Yeah, well.
Yeah. You never know. You just never know.
You do never know. Yeah, so that, I mean, I don't feel like this is a bigger deal, especially because, like, at this stage, it's like no release date, everything and anything. I feel like most people would have been like, surely this is releasing like maybe November or something, you know, like end of year, most likely. And now it's, in the scheme of things, it's only been moved forward like potentially like 3-4 months.
Yeah.
Not like a full year.
Dylan, I think it's pretty clear what this means. It's launching with the Switch Pro.
I can only hope so, to be honest, but
yeah.
We're like, oh, didn't you just
it all lines up. Why release it with anything else?
It would still be on both consoles. I'm saying that right here right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, it runs better on that. It's like, you know, Breath of the Wild did come out on the Wii U. So
Yeah. And Twilight Princess came out on the GameCube. As well as the Wii.
It's true. Yeah.
So it's
so Zeldas, they come at the end of the life cycle.
Zelda's always on dual
making that most
things.
Money possible.
Yeah.
Biggest player base possible.
Yeah. Also gives me time to actually go back and finish the first one. It's never going to happen.
I mean, it also gives you time to actually install Elden Ring before, you know.
Well, that's, yeah, I mean.
It's hard to call it your game of the year if you haven't opened the box.
Yeah, well, imagine if, like, after all this and, like, being super excited for the game, we get to the end of the year, we're doing our game of the year nominees and stuff like that.
Like, I haven't played it.
I'm like, I haven't played it. Like, no, I'll play it before the end of the year. Come on.
I look forward to cutting this clip out. I'm saving this.
If I begin to run out of time to play it, I'm going to have to just take a couple days off work or something. You know?
Yeah.
Just
during Christmas time, it's like, no, sorry, I've got something I really need to do, really important.
I just got to play this video
that I've been putting off all year. Yeah.
You can play Elden Ring.
What, some sort of surgery? Some sort of like personal matter? Yeah, some sort of personal matter.
Really? Have you seen that video where people fake getting COVID? Like they draw like in the photo app on their phone, and they just draw like they do the eye or whatever, and then they place it on the test, and then they get like the drop tool and like drag it over to get the perfect color to match because you know you have the one line for negative, so then they're like drop tooling and put the eye there, and they do a fake. That's what I'll do. No, I'm not condoning that. Lawyers, police. Elden Ring.
Something, your eyes twitching. It's
what?
weird.
I know what I'm saying.
Audio listeners.
GameSpot writes, Fortnite without building is permanent as Epic reveals zero build mode. After Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 2 began by taking the building mechanics out of the fight, and the idea became very popular, Epic Games has decided to make no build format a permanent mode called Fortnite Zero Build. Alongside that, game modes featuring building are still playable in Arena and Creative, though there's no word on when or yet if ever building will return to the game's public Battle Royale lobbies. Zero Build is now available in solo, duo, trio, and squad matchmaking in the Discover menu found in the Fortnite lobby. Many of the new mechanics introduced with the mode, including mantling, using ascenders to board blimps, and the overshield will also feature in this mode. Alternatively, you can choose the standard Battle Royale mode to enjoy the old skill building gameplay. What do you make of this?
It's good. I think for a lot of it makes it easier for new players to come in. Because you don't have to learn this whole entire building mechanic. I think it's probably easier, like for matchmaking against PC players, that you don't like they can, it's a little bit closer. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure for people who have put all these hours into learning how to build, it's like this is a skill that they're going to lose. So when they eventually do bring building back in, it's like almost over playing field again. Yeah, I mean that was the thing that differentiated them at the start.
That's why I'm very confused.
But Fortnite is so big, it doesn't need the building element anymore.
I mean, that's a good point, I guess. Yeah, because like it was the differentiating factor.
I mean, it is the battle royale. I mean, let's be honest, it killed whatever the one kick things off. The one that I can't remember the name of because it's so dead. PUBG, that's it. Killed that off. It's different enough from Apex, and there really isn't any other battle royales in the
Call of Duty
on the same echelon. Warzone, yes, I guess that's true. Yeah. But that is so realistic that I feel like is stylized. Although Fortnite has gotten more and more beautiful as the years have gone on. So
Fortnite's just a pop culture smorgasbord playing field now. Like.
Does this mean you don't like gather resources anymore?
I guess not.
Do you not break stuff down anymore?
I know. Maybe we should jump in. But yeah, I mean, like, what would you do with chopped wood? Build fires?
Trade it in for something? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Fortnite has so many like mechanics. It's like,
I think there's probably times where it'll be annoying. It's like I used to be able to just build something and get up this hill really fast.
Yeah.
You have to try and climb it.
Yeah, I can understand like people who love that aspect being annoyed, but I can also see the numbers going up now. Like,
yeah, it's like enticing for people who did not want to learn how to build to be able to go in and say, "Hey, I've got a freaking chance now."
Yeah.
I'm competing against is a level playing field to a certain degree. But yeah, I think it's a cool idea, like potentially for like the season or whatever. And it's like, turns out that somebody has made it so everybody forgot how to build and they've been defeated at the end of the season. So now everybody remembers how to build again. Crazy.
They'll bring it back. They have to.
They have to.
But then I presume they'll keep a no build mode anyway. Like,
I mean, the player base is big enough where they could probably sustain a build mode and a no build mode.
I think they could, yeah.
Matchmaking wise, yeah.
Fallout TV series. So there was news about this week, and I gotta be honest, I read this and went, did we know there was a Fallout TV series? Because I completely missed. I don't know. Did we talk about this ever?
I feel like this is something that was announced at one point.
I honestly can't remember. And I was like, everyone's like, this news story dropped, like it was just talking about it. I'm like, wait. Oh, they're doing a Fallout series? Anyway. Eurogamer writes, Ella Purnell, famous for her work in Yellow Jackets and Netflix's animated series Arcane, two very good things, has joined the cast of Amazon's upcoming Fallout adaptation. As reported by Variety, Purnell will be taking on a currently unspecified lead role in the upcoming series. However, sources close to the show have revealed Purnell's character will be upbeat and uncannily direct with an all-American can-do spirit. The intensity in her eyes, she says she might just be a teeny bit dangerous. Along with her aforementioned work, Purnell has also had roles in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Disney's Maleficent, and Kick-Ass 2. Yeah, I don't recall this, but that's kind of cool. I feel like...
I mean, I do... So, Amazon... So, this was announced July 2nd, 2020.
Fuck.
And it's being created by Westworld creators, Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy.
Oh, that rings some bells, actually, maybe.
It does ring some bells.
Yeah, how would you feel like about maybe we've had this conversation, but since I can't remember it, but since I don't remember it, like, yeah, how do you feel about a Fallout series starring Ella over here? I
think that sounds cool. Like, obviously she was really good in Arcane. I haven't seen Yellow Jackets, but you know,
that's one of the best shows
praised.
of the year.
Yeah. Okay. Having that cast, the creative team behind it, it's exciting. And also they've got Walton Goggins on board apparently, who rumor has it is going to play Ghoul, which would be very fitting. Even I think Walton Goggins is a perfect actor for a Fallout universe.
How long do you reckon I'd spend in the bunker?
Half an episode.
You reckon? or flashbacks?
But it depends. It depends on how you set up the show. Are you setting it up with bang? This is with the whatever day it is.
I feel like
what they call it.
I feel like my ideal Fallout show, I would nearly want I would need several episodes at least in the bunker
Before getting out?
Yeah. Because I feel like Fallout 3 is the best Fallout, right? We all agree? No?
I've only played 4.
Okay.
Actually, I played half of 3, so let's say yes.
I just think that the setup and like all that time in the bunker to eventually walking outside for that first time, that's set up for your character, the sort of like not knowing there's an outside world. Like if they could set that up and do that right in the show and present a character who doesn't think there's an outside world and actually spend the time to introduce potential, because you could have more than one person escape, obviously, like get out, and you could have some of those characters come back, like she could bump into them down the line, even like seasons later, I don't know. But yeah, I would rather them not rush out of the bunker. I feel like you could do, like, especially because it's Prime.
But it depends. You're assuming they grew up in the bunker?
Yes, I'm assuming they grew up in the bunker. I feel like I need a vault.
Not 4 where they cryologically were frozen.
No, I need like a vault child as the protagonist, a vault child. So they know nothing. They were born in a vault. That's
yeah.
What
Then I could see like a few episodes. And, like,
that's
you
what I
kind
want.
of tease.
That's what I want. Yeah, because I feel like that's the story. Like,
I mean, it would be very Fallout if it's like the whole season's inside the vault and someone is turning on the.
I mean, to be honest,
rest.
I would watch that too, because that sounds like the plot of that movie that I reviewed for Shudder recently, but then it turned shit. But they ruined it. But that's kind of what I want. Yeah. Like some politics within the vault, before they get out. No need to rush. It's fine. And then before we move on to... Fuck, there wasn't much that happened this week, hey?
I mean, not much that's not PlayStation. I mean, you're missing the major story of the week.
Which was?
Stanley Parable coming to PlayStation.
Oh, fuck yeah, that's right. I saw that this morning. I forgot. Yeah. That's just that's the one they announced like a year or two ago, right?
I feel like it was at the Game Awards.
Last year?
Or something like that. No, I think it was at Gamescom last year.
Okay, yeah. I remember it was a while ago. Yeah, so that's finally coming to PlayStation.
Yes.
So that's cool, yeah. But I mean, most of this week's news has been PlayStation, of course. If you want to hear us, and we're not discussing it, not because it's not big, but obviously it's very PlayStation-centric. And if you want to hear all us talk about PlayStation-centric stuff, you should head on over to Platinum Explosion, #1 PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias. Every Wednesday it releases, and we record it Tuesdays, and PlayStation drops big news, writers, episode publishers. Woo, boy, because that's what happened this past week.
Yep. I mean, we're pretty dead on, right, with all our talking about the rumors, I think.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't do too much like theorizing that was just going to be completely wasted content. Because it would have been totally useless. Anyone listening to follow.
Listen, here's my spoiler for that episode. Nobody really cares about playing PS3 games.
Whoa. If you want to hear Ash's hot takes, tune in this coming Wednesday, 2 days from now, if you listen to this on Monday. Just a quick Sonic mini review. We'll be doing a spoiler cast on the What Do You Want to Watch podcast feed if you want to hear me and Ash give our full spoiler thoughts. And Ash hasn't watched it at the time I'm recording this, but my mini review is this. It's good. If you like the first one, you should go watch this one. I think it's better. I quite enjoy Jim Carrey's a lot more just full batshit. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like obviously he got to that stage in the first one, but I feel like this is just, because you see Robotnik at the end of the first movie. He's got the mustache finally. He's losing his mind. Yeah, this one's just lost his fucking marbles. So, and that's the entire movie. So you just get that Jim Carrey, like classic 90s Jim Carrey throughout the entire movie. Yeah. It's great. I think I really enjoy, so the majority of this movie, like slight spoiler, it's like from the first 15 minutes or whatever, but James Marsden's character goes for a holiday to Hawaii very early in the movie. And then that's when shit starts to kick off. And that's when Knuckles
and
Tails.
So he's barely in the movie.
He's in the movie and he comes back into it, but they split up Sonic from him for a half the movie, I would say. So, which it makes sense because then you get time where it's just Sonic and Tails. So, and I really enjoy that dynamic. Not to say that I quite enjoyed the human Sonic, whatever that character's name is, stuff in the first movie. It was fun, but I quite enjoyed just having Sonic and Tails, like in this one. And Tails voiced by the original, like the voice actor, the one who's doing Tails currently. Very
Colleen
cool.
something.
Yeah, whatever her name is, I can't remember. But
Sorry.
And Idris Elba's Knuckles is great. I love it so much. It is. I think it's perfect. I think it's like pitch perfect. As someone who did you ever watch the Sonic cartoon?
Which one?
The early 2000s one?
No.
Okay.
I know to all of them. So
okay, because that used to be on Cheese TV.
Okay.
So I used to watch the Sonic cartoon a lot.
I probably watch in passing, but yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like
it was a must watch.
They got the moody Knuckles down, and Idris Elba just does it so well. But there's also a sense of he's quite funny. There's almost a Draxness about him too, where you'll say something and he just takes it very serious. Like the whole, when Drax is it wouldn't go over my head, I would catch it. That sort of that sort of type of stuff is coming from Knuckles as well. So I very much enjoyed it. It's not movie of the year material, anything crazy like that. But I think for what it is, and it's as far as video game adaptations go, and I know the bar's set low still, but I definitely feel the Sonic movies are some of the best ones we've had, to be honest.
Yeah. Can you believe we came from where we started with these Sonic movies? With that first trailer.
Everyone was like, this is going to be horrible. And it looked horrible. And now they've turned it around to be, I legit think that this and the first one are probably some of the best video game adaptations.
It might be the best Sonic content coming out right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of looking forward to that new game. The one, the open world one they dropped that trailer for last year?
Yeah.
Whatever that was called, I can't remember. But that looked Frontier or something.
Sonic? Yeah.
Something
that sounds right.
I'm kind of down for that. But yeah, I highly suggest checking out Sonic. Definitely, it's a kid's movie, but very fun, especially if you grew up watching any of the Sonic TV shows or played any games. And I mean, this one sort of combines the plot of Sonic 2 and 3, but that's fine. Most people don't know the plots for Sonic games, I guess, but there are plots to those games, very, very vaguely. Also, there's after credit scene or mid credit scene. So everyone know there's nothing all the way at the end of the credits. It's just a mid credit scene. So similar to the first one, I believe. Yeah. All right, so I played Kirby. I picked it up last week when we were recording. I had Kirby, I just hadn't started it, and I played through it this week. I love it. It's so good.
Yep.
It's shocking how good it is, to be honest. I almost couldn't put it down. I think it was last Saturday. I woke up and I started it that morning, and I just was laying in bed for hours. I just kept being one more level, and it was because it's I wouldn't say it's a spoiler to say, but some of the levels in the world just get so crazy, and the game just takes the way it's stylized and sort of treats the world serious around Kirby while Kirby's turning into cars and shit. It's just a weird juxtaposition that really works for the game for some reason. There's some really cool boss fights in here. There's a weirdly high amount of story. It has one of the coolest opening cutscenes I think I've seen in any game of recent memory, and I highly suggest, even if you're not going to play this, just look up the opening Kirby cutscene, because there's a song made for it. It's Kirby, go on an adventure. It's this whole thing. It's fucking madness. It's so good. It plays in the credits again as well. This song plays. I'm like, oh, what a banger. Absolutely love this song. Yeah, I mean, I talked about it when I played the demo. I think the thing is that first world, I really like the demo, but it doesn't really showcase this game's imagination as much as the levels do after. So, the first level is that sort of washed up on the beach. You're sort of in a city sort of area. It's the one where everyone's like, oh, it's Last of Us, sort of that thing. But a lot of it just feels very typical. It feels like it almost could be a 3D Mario level. It feels like it could fit into a Mario Galaxy or something like that. It sort of fits there. And not to say that the future worlds don't, they sort of hit areas you probably are similar with. There's snow shit and lava shit, but it's just the way they design those levels. They're a lot more distinct, and they don't feel wholly like something you could potentially have played in a Mario game. They start feeling very unique and different. And like quite often you'll start these levels too where I remember there's like several cool ones, like you'll just load into the level, Kirby like flies in, and you'll like be running forward, and there's like a giant gate just ahead of you. And it does like that God of War shit where like Kirby will be running off in the distance, but the camera's not panning in with you. So then like Kirby's getting smaller, and that's it. Like it like sets up like such a scope for this game that's really weird. But that's the whole like sort of it takes its world and this like dark fantasy setting like weirdly serious. But the platforming and nothing's particularly hard. The puzzles aren't particularly hard. I would say that it's like I was playing on the. Well, I think there's a normal and there's an easy difficulty. The only difference is that easy difficulty like over doubles your health and whatever else. But I did die in like one or two boss fights. Maybe I was just going a bit ham, and I probably could have survived if I wasn't just like, I'll fucking kill you and then like whatever. But I would say some of the boss fights can get a little bit hectic in the later half of the game, especially the last couple of fights. You can, if you mess up, you can sort of lose half your health in a hit sort of thing. But the general level design, none of those enemies are super hard, and they're just usually fun. But it doesn't feel like super easy. Like it's not like you're disconnected from the game. It's just that you're fine. Like you're not struggling, but you're not bored because it's so easy. It's that nice middle ground. But and then of course the number one thing that you sort of have to talk about when you're talking about the Kirby and the Forgotten World is mouthful mode, which is the Kirby sucks.
How funny is it?
It's quite funny. And there is stuff that of course hasn't been seen yet. That's in the other levels.
There's other stuff he puts in his mouth.
There's other stuff he puts in his mouth. There's one thing I told you about the other day off recording in the last level that made me lose my shit. Well, I won't say for spoiler reasons, but like in context when you're watching it happen, I was like, it was just putting a smile on my face. I'm like, this is so dumb. But it's just like it's again, because of how like the last level, the last boss fight gets so fucking anime. It's like for a Kirby game, and then like what Kirby turns into. I was all aboard it. I thought it was just so good. But yeah, all of it, like, and it's not like you'll miss them. They're like a main part of the game. So, I guess there's a couple maybe you could miss for certain puzzles, but for the most part, it is literally like, you know, hey, there's a car here, you suck up and become the car, and there's like a car driving part of that level, stuff like that. There are some like secret doors in levels that like bonus areas where because you got to save, like, you know, for collectibles, there's the certain creatures you got to save. I can't remember what they're called. And there's other things too, like collectibles. So some of those you can do, like there was one or two I did where it was like you walked into a room and there'll be a car there, and you got to do the car, like you got to do like a time trial to like win the thing. So there's stuff like that hidden off to the side. Turn into the vending machine. You can just shoot Coke cans at people and kill them all day. But the other thing that I didn't know about this game coming into it, and maybe I just wasn't paying attention to any of the marketing at all, and it definitely wasn't involved in the demo or anything, which is that you upgrade your abilities. So you
can fit more stuff in your mouth.
Not quite. So not the mouthful mode stuff, just the normal Kirby abilities. So like, you know, level 1, for example, there's a dude, the bomber dude, throwing bombs at you. You suck him up. Kirby's now the bomber. You know, that the core Kirby gameplay experience of him just sucking up and becoming the enemy types, not the mouthful mode where he becomes inanimate objects. That's sort of the difference here. But this is a new thing where, and I think it's really cool because it helps the game. You feel like you're like getting stronger as Kirby as you play, which works really well in this game that almost has this very like anime serious like storyline and stuff going on. But like, so Kirby has a village that the more of these critters that you're saving, I can't remember what they're called, but the more of them you save, like they'll begin putting up different buildings and houses and stuff in the town. You can do like side activities there, little mini games, and talk to people and stuff like that. But one of them is this place, this dude who will upgrade your gear. So and by gear I mean the ability. So you can find in levels, they're hidden, of course, they're like collectibles, kind of the secrets, little scrolls that let you upgrade abilities. You can take that to him, and then he will use your gold and star pieces, and the star pieces can be earned from bonus levels, which is probably the hardest stuff in the game. The bonus levels are you'll load into a level. It gives you a particular power. Say that the bomb ability, say it's like the fire breathing. There's one where Kirby turns into like a dude just shooting 2 pistols. Any of this sort of stuff, or even some mouthful mode. Like there was one where it was a puzzle, so Kirby can mouthful mode into a ladder, for example, and it's you sort of had to like jigsaw all these ladders quickly to get to a ledge. Like, this one has to go forward, then drag the other one back, and then drag this one to the right, and then drag the other one up, and like it's those puzzles like in the squares where you drag blocks around to try and so it's like that. And if you clear them in the correct time, you will get a star. So these are like time trial challenges, and you can use those stars and gold that you earn through the levels to level up Kirby's abilities. And some of them are wild. Like you'll go from like the fire breathing one, I think is the best ability in the game. Because it'll do to all of the bosses in the game. It doesn't matter which one. It does like burning damage. So you do like damage on them, but then they'll still be on fire and they'll be dying. So it's like, all right, cool story. But you can upgrade that to like where Kirby becomes like a full on like dragon head motherfucker, like burning like this giant purple flame type thing coming out of his mouth. It's insane. But I really loved how you could upgrade the abilities. I think it's like a really cool part of this game that helps it feel like, just more alive and stuff. But I'm shocked how good this was. Like I was keen to play it because I thought it looked like cute and, interesting. The first Kirby 3D game. Let's see how this goes. But I think this is really, really good. And if you like platformers, especially ones that aren't, super hard or anything like that. And if you just want like a cool game, it probably takes, I don't know, like 8 hours to beat, probably something like that. And there's lots to do. Like I still, if I have time, would love to go back and try and 100% it because I just really enjoy it. But and also there's like a few bonus levels that are harder that have opened up after beating the game. And I won't spoil like how, what, where, when, why. But those ones are a lot more difficult than the core campaign, and I've done like the first one of those. So but that's really cool. But I'd highly suggest this. I think this is really, really cool. I think if I was reviewing it, I'd probably be around a 8.5 or something like that. So really good. Highly suggest it. All right, that'll do it for this week's episode of Arcade Couch. Let us know any comments, questions, concerns you have about the show or gaming. Tweet at us or join our Discord, exposurenetwork.com/Twitter, exposurenetwork.com/Discord. Takes you to those places. If you like this episode and thought it was worth $1, head on over to our Ko-fi page at exposurenetwork.com/support to drop as little as $1 to support the show and the website. And until next week, same time, same couch. Goodbye.
What I'm saying is people should just buy a PS3 if they're so desperate to play a PS3 game.
Just save your line for the correct